So if you are a trans woman, that doesn't make you a woman, that makes you a trans woman. And if you are a trans man, that doesn't make you a man, you are a trans man. I'm not going to be a dick and mispronoun you or whatever, or misgender you. But the people on TikTok, like Adora and Lily, need to stop telling people that they are women. And Lily needs to stop getting people fired just because they're addressing them as sir. If people are addressing them as sir, it is not evident that you look like a woman. If people are getting it wrong, you know?
I just wanted to let you know that you shouldn't be scared of even addressing someone who passes as their correct pronoun, because you're protected under the gender critical law. Like the how to say your political stance in UK law, you're protected under that. So if you were not to call someone who was trans he him, although they're saying they're a trans woman, they cannot do you for a hate crime, because you could literally just say that's just my gender critical belief, and you're technically protected under that. So you're not being a dick, you're just being honest.
Yeah.
You're not abiding by certain things. So
I wouldn't go out of my way to misgender someone. Like I don't think that is a nice thing to do, and I don't think it's a necessary thing to do. If I accidentally misgender you and you tell me your gender, I will then do my utmost to like refer to you as that gender. And if I can't, I just use your name.
yeah, the thing is, at least for me, I think it's inconsistent to say that you don't see them as the sex they're claiming to be and to address them as the sex that they claim to be. But I see what you're saying. But you also need to well, for me, I think you need to respect the reality of things, and that's why I call them with the correct pronouns or their name. If they say, I'm being misgendered, I'm gonna say no, you're not. I'm just going based off your sex, but I will address you from your name. And if they still have an issue, I just don't engage. Because honestly, although I understand what you're saying, because that's what I used to do as well, I told myself, you know what, that's a bit inconsistent. So if you're a he, I'm going to address you as a he, him. And if you were born a she, I'm going to address you as she, her. And with anyone who opens their mouth to say, oh, my pronouns is they, them, I literally walk away, because that's a different type of story.
Yeah.
But yeah. Question on the begging on the streets. How is begging on TikTok as bad as begging on the streets?
Because you're begging. Begging is illegal in this country. I don't believe that you should be on TikTok begging for gifts. That's other people's money that they've worked hard for to earn. And you're sitting on TikTok doing fuck all, and what people are just meant to pay you. No, stop it. Stop begging. Stop asking people for money. It's disgusting. It's cringy, and it's illegal.
Okay, dope. So although you're very much right, it is illegal. Don't you think that the ones who are in the street, not everyone, of course, because some do perform a scam, but the ones who are generally homeless and cannot aren't being offered shelter, don't you think that they sort of have a right to beg if the government has exhausted their help? Because there's literally homeless people who would have lost their documentation, so it'd be difficult to get something under the council, or don't have any room in homeless shelters, meaning they are literally in the streets. There's no other way that they can get themselves warmed up. Don't you think they have a right?
I don't think they have a right, but I do understand why they do it. They obviously don't have anything, but again, I would rather go and buy them a cup of coffee or a sandwich or something than go and give them money, because yes, they are homeless, but you don't know their situation. There's a good chance that they will go and spend it on something they shouldn't be spending it on.
Yeah.
And again, like, it just, right, okay. So in the cases of like TikTok versus on the streets, I understand why they're doing it on the streets. Okay, I do get it, but the fact that it is begging, it's as bad as. I'm saying it's the same. I'm saying it's as bad as.
In a way, I have to like, I cannot lie and say I do not see your point of view, but I have to also like, I think with all the things that you've written, that's the only time I'll disagree.
That's cool.
Because I've spoken to homeless people, and if you hear these stories, it's insane. Yeah, it's a way where it's like, to say it's as bad as, I think the TikTok begging is just bad and not as bad, if that makes sense. Because the ones in the street actually live in the reality of being cold, under the weather, barely any clothing, they're not eating properly, or have some sort of addiction to cope with the fact that they're in that predicament.
So
Meanwhile, the ones
therefore,
on TikTok literally have a cellular device under a home. They're still eating okay,
but
and
it
they're
seems
warm.
begging on TikTok is actually worse than begging on
Yeah,
the
that's
street.
what I'm saying. Yeah, so
Have their shit together.
yeah, exactly. So I'm saying the ones on TikTok should not be begging, period. Because if you have a phone, you can, and you have TikTok, that means you have the app, right? This Apple Store, or the playlist store, meaning you can download Indeed and apply for a job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, for the ones in the street, it's a different predicament. So that's why I said, I was a bit taken aback. But hopefully you see what I'm saying
I
now.
do. I
Yeah.
do see what you're saying, yeah.
And lastly, did you grow up religious?
So I did grow up religious and I was Christian for a while. And then when I grew up, I decided that religion wasn't for me and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Same, same. And do you criticize each and every religion?
So I don't believe in any religion. I think if I was forced to believe in something, it would probably be paganism. Um, and yeah, that's, or Shinto. I quite like Shinto, because they worship ghosts, which I think is really cool. But
I
yeah,
would have to agree as well. I was literally about to say that I would rather be pagan or perform what my mother is from her traditional belief. Unfortunately, the West has demonized it, and you probably would know it as voodoo.
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, but it's actually called voodoo,
yeah.
and the one sacrificing up, pew pews blazing animals for random things they wanted. It was literally just wanting the guidance of the ancestors and giving your ancestors the food as like a Thanksgiving. Although I do believe that once you've passed, you're chilling. No need to say hi, hello to the dead. But if I had to pick a faith to follow, I would choose at least the traditional faith.
Yeah.
But I would have to agree the most faiths do worship, NONCEs. So, I don't know why they sit down and open their mouth to claim that faith. It's gross. And as much as they say that they follow God, I think they're following the prophet instead of that faith, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that.
Right? I think I'm finished with the discussion. I don't have any disagreements with you.
Okay,
You
well,
have a nice morning.
you too. It was lovely speaking to you. I appreciate
Nice
it.
speaking to you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. So Finley, the reason why me saying that God doesn't exist isn't disrespectful is because God is a belief system and you have to have faith. I don't believe, I don't have faith in God, and therefore God doesn't exist to me. So it's very true that God doesn't exist to me. If God exists to you, that is fantastic. And I hope that you are having a great life with that. But for me, it's just not something that is working. Hello, how old are you, please?
I'm 18.
No, you're fucking not.
Yes.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Okay. What do you mean by the all right? So the banana means bananaed because I can't say BANNED on TikTok. So yeah, there is no way you were 18. I teach 16 to 19-year-olds, okay? I know what they sound like. You are not 18. Not at all. Body count does matter. Well, then you're obviously insecure, and that's cool.
The day it is what it is. The world's a mess as it is. You know what I mean? With regards to religion, you know what I mean? Religion's like government. It's just all over the place.
Yeah.
Second one, nonsense, dead. Simple. I'm not. You know what I mean? I don't beat around the bush. At the end of the day, you know, I've got triplets. They're all girls. You know, and if anybody touched them, I'd kill them myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just one of them things. And trans people, I don't know what the hell's going on with that. You know what I mean? There's so many pronouns. It's unbelievable. It's like I watch Piers Morgan a lot. Don't get me wrong. Some of his things are a little bit weird, but a lot of his stuff it just makes sense. You know what I mean? You can't sit there and say I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. You know, there's someone in the world that classes himself as a piece of broccoli. You know what I mean? What's going on in the world? It's just like the world's just gone backwards.
Yeah. I'm like, there are some things that Piers Morgan says that I do agree with. Other things I'm just like, oh, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah, of course.
But
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Not everybody's perfect. You know what I mean? There is a lot of things. You know, everybody's got their own opinion. You know what I mean on a lot of things. The only thing that I don't believe in with the trans side of things is it's all getting thrown down people's throats.
Yeah, it seems to be everywhere, doesn't it?
Yes, it's the same as gay pride. You know what I mean? I haven't got any. I'm not. I've got nothing against gay people. You know what I mean? Go about your own business. Do what you got to do, but don't throw it down. Like there's Gay Pride Month.
There is Pride
You know what I
Month.
mean?
Yeah.
And what? And for the veterans that died in World War One, there's only one day for that.
So we do actually have military appreciation month. That's in May.
But it isn't thrown about enough.
It's not talking about enough.
I didn't even know that existed until you just said it. You know what I mean?
I know. And do you know what really pisses me off is that it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month in June as well, and we haven't heard anything about that. That's not being promoted anywhere, but Pride is, and I just feel like men's mental health is increasingly more important for people of the LGBTQ community as well as normal men.
Yeah.
Not normal men. Oh my God, I didn't mean normal.
Yeah.
But as
I know where
like
you're coming from.
straight and heterosexual are the same thing, but for
Yeah.
heterosexual men as well. And I just feel like pride has taken over.
Yes. Yeah, it has. It's. Yeah, I've been through mental health. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their own backstory. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's a lot that a lot of people go through, but some people deal with things in a different way. You know what I mean? That's how it works with, like the lady said before, that was on earlier about like homeless people. You know what I mean? Everyone has a backstory of
Yeah.
how they get through life. You know what I mean? But with regards to obviously touching on the trans thing, like there's so many people on TikTok and online. I've always said it ever since the first mobile phone come out. The internet screwed the world completely. You know what I mean? All the social media, it makes women feel like they're not good enough. Because of all these people posting up their pictures of themselves being.
Yes, I'm so insecure about my body, and I'm not even fat. Like I'm a size 10,
Yeah,
but
that's
because
what
I
I mean.
haven't got an ironing board tummy,
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm gross, and I hate it. Like I shouldn't feel like that about me. I should
No,
love
that's what I mean.
myself.
It's like I took myself off Facebook because it's just all fake. You know what I mean? Everybody literally just posts up, the positives of life. You know what I mean? And like it's all about me, 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 me. It's like the world's become so selfish. No one gives a shit about anybody anymore. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, you could go to your next door neighbour and borrow some sugar or some milk. Do that now, you'd be lucky to get stabbed.
Exactly. I mean, I've just moved in with my boyfriend, and the other day the hot water tap in the bathroom wouldn't turn off,
Yeah.
and I went to we live in a block of flats,
Yeah.
and I went to the flat next door, and I knocked on the door because I needed some help because I don't know where the stopcock is or anything like that in a flat.
Yeah.
And all I heard was, I ain't fucking answering it. I'm not expecting anyone. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And I
People are
was
so
like,
selfish
no,
now.
help me.
Yeah, honestly, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm not saying it happens to everybody. You know what I mean? There is still nice people out there, but you just got it's few and far between now. You know what I mean? Years ago, you could walk down the street and say hello to everybody. Now, everybody's face down with their phone in their hand. You know what I mean?
Hasmet, it did actually happen, and I TikToked it as well because I needed people on TikTok to help me. It genuinely happened. The washer in the tap is gone. So,
Nice.
but whatever.
But yeah, like I said, obviously we are getting off a couple of subjects. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit here all day. I could rant for hours and hours. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
fine.
everything. It's crazy. But like I said, yeah, based on the next one, begging on TikTok, it is ridiculous. The amount of people that I see on here begging. You know what I mean? Like it not even just from England. Obviously all the foreigners and.
Oh god, yeah, I know. They've
ridiculous.
set up like fake war zones and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and it's like there's one guy who literally has a spoonful of cayenne pepper and he's about to eat it, and he's like, donuts, donuts, donuts. Like,
Yeah. And they don't even eat it.
no, he never eats
You know
it.
what I mean? No,
Oh.
it's ridiculous.
Casma, all the foreign people on TikTok, yes, the foreigners. If they're not from the same
Yeah.
country as us, they're foreigners. What are you
That's
on
what I'm
about?
saying.
How are you
That's what I mean.
finding
Obviously,
that?
people do it in UK as well. You know what I mean? I'm not singling people out.
No.
You know what I mean? If people want to get all snowflakey about it, you know what I mean? That's the thing with the world at the minute. You can't say anything now. You know what I mean? Back in the day, if you were sitting there listening to like comedy back in the day, a lot of people nowadays in this generation be sitting there crying on the floor.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. If you can't take a joke, then what's the point of you even being on this world?
Yeah, it's like
You
I
know?
went to see Keith Lemon the other month, and
Yeah.
he had to change all of his comedy because obviously a lot of it was racist and stuff because he
Yeah.
used to dress up like Mel B and shit like that. But he wasn't funny, and people were literally walking out because he tried to make it like so inoffensive, and it just didn't work. Like it's not. It just wasn't funny. And you look at Jimmy Carr and people like that, And it's
Oh, yeah.
because it's on the edge that it's funny. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Keith Lemon should have done his Mel B or anything like that. That is long gone. Like,
Yeah, cool.
it's not okay.
No.
But it was all his other stuff. He tried to make it like politically correct, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Everything nowadays. You can't really do anything. Like I said, you can't say anything wrong to people. You know, everything just gets taken to heart now. You know, you got to sort of tiptoe around everybody. You know, and it's not. It shouldn't be the way it should go. I don't know what it is. It's like sense of humour's just disappeared from everybody.
Yeah, imagine being so entitled that you think that you have the right to never be offended.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that? It happens. Get over it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all like when you was at school, though, sticks and stones. You know what I mean? What happened to that? Sticks and you can't even sing "Bar Bar Black Sheep" anymore.
I know, it's
You know
part
what I
of
mean?
our rainbow sheep.
Exactly. What the piss in hell is that? It's just
The
ridiculous.
sheep gay? Like, what is going on?
Oh, honestly, and they take down like the Great British flags, put up pride flags. What's that all about? You know what I mean? This country has just been absolutely abominated by everybody. You know what I mean? The government have absolutely screwed it completely. I'm ashamed to call myself English. You know what I mean? Because of the way it's gone. You know,
you're not allowed to be proud that you're English now because
No.
that's racist.
no, that's what I mean. It's ridiculous. You know, it's like. So I've never been racist. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of coloured friends. You know what I mean? It is what it is with regards to like what happened in America, obviously to that bloke with the policeman and that. You know what I mean? Obviously, like
Yeah.
it's that got a bit too far as well. You know what I mean? And the mad thing is, slavery started with white people.
Yeah.
That's where it all stemmed from.
And the
You know what I
thing
mean? It
is,
started with white people, and then it just went out of control. You know what I mean? It's just mental.
slavery is still happening in Africa.
Yeah, of course it is.
Like,
Of course it. You know what I mean? But it's like we're getting penalised for something that's happening in other people's countries. You know what I mean? Like people come over here and take everything they can get and send it all back home because their country's suffering. We don't control their country. If that happened to us, we'll just get spat on.
yeah.
You know, it's not fair. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take up all your life. You know what I mean? I'll let somebody else.
that's fine.
But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to actually come across and actually put my opinion across because it's like I said, you can't say this sort of thing to anybody anymore. You know, so at the end of the day, you've done this live, and it's I mean, I appreciate that. It's brilliant. It's gets your point across a little bit. You know, if people hate me for saying what I've said, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I've got my opinion.
You're white, straight, and privileged now, according to the comments.
Well, I am white straight. I don't care. I'm quite happily, proudly say it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you hate me, then have a look at your generation. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you've got a problem, it is what it is. But yeah, no, like I said, I'll let you go now. I've said my piece. And yeah, no, it's been good, and I appreciate you doing this live. Thank you very much.
No worries. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Someone's just put in the comments, go vegan. I would rather shit in my hands and clap. I'll disconnect you. There we go. Vegan, if you're going to spam my chat, I'm going to mute you. I'm not going vegan. Like I said, I'd rather shit in my hands and clap. What does the banana mean? It means BANNED. Oh my God, can you stop doing that? There we go. Next person. D. Hello.
Hi,
How old are you, please?
I'm 24.
Fabulous.
I didn't really have anything negative to say. I just wanted to say how refreshing it is to actually have someone on the social media platform who has their head screwed on.
Well, thank you very much.
Honestly, it's just everybody's being so petty over everything and trying to cancel people for speaking their minds, and yet, you know, they speak theirs and they're supposed to be invincible.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like you can only have an opinion if your opinion lines up with me. And that's
Exactly. Like they're the ones who preach about freedom of speech and all this, but God forbid you like
Yeah.
disagree with them and stuff.
It's because they can't debate, they can't have anyone go against them, because the person going against them might just have a point, and they don't want anyone else to have a point unless it's their point.
Oh yeah, they can't handle the truth, you know, the keyboard warriors, and as soon as you throw something out, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're racist, that's all they come back with. No, it wasn't really a question as such, but with the Euros going on, the thing that's going to get me is how many people are going to have British flags, you know, hanging out the cars and windows and stuff, because it's going down every single time.
Oh, you should see my pub. Absolutely covered in England flags. And then you go
Beautiful.
inside and it's got all the flags of the Euros. It's brilliant. It looks
Oh my
great.
God. It's nice to see that they're still doing that in some places. Can't say the same for here, unfortunately, but
Yeah. Vegan Veteran, you have your own platform, so go and preach your veganism there, because I don't want to be part of that cult. Okay? I'm going out today. I'll be wearing my leather coat. All right? I'm going to be eating some sausage bacon sandwiches in a minute with loads of butter. Okay? And then later on, when I have my chips, I'm going to put mayonnaise on it, which is definitely made with eggs.
preach.
Can you just go away?
These people don't realise, like, if it wasn't for people eating meat, they wouldn't even be here, you know, because that's how humanity and all that started. Like, I don't believe in God or anything, but we've got to be here for a reason. And, you know, times back then when we didn't have fruit and veg or didn't know what to eat, it was just meat. So thank you, generations, for existing, because if it wasn't for that, then you wouldn't be here. So shove off with the veganism.
Yeah. If I want to be vegan, I will go and be vegan.
Exactly. Like, you don't have to ram it. They don't have to ram it down your throat. And did they really think their messages are going to make you click and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go vegan now. Bye.
Exactly. I'm gluten intolerant. A lot of vegan foods, like the meat alternatives, etc., and the plant-based stuff, is full of gluten, and I can't fucking eat it anyway.
Exactly. But that's not acceptable. You still have to do it, apparently. Otherwise, you're abusing cows.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Sicky, what is fake? What's fake? Oh my God. I will block every fucking one of your accounts. I'll do it.
Imagine having multiple accounts for this. Like,
I know.
I have no words. Anyway, I'll leave you to your day. Thank you for letting me join, and
No worries. Have a great day.
you too.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Go and have a bacon sandwich. Okay, next person.
Hello.
How old are you, please?
21.
Awesome. What did you want to talk about?
The God doesn't exist point.
Okay.
I think he does, and I have proof for it as well.
You have proof? Oh my goodness. You may be the only person in the whole entire world that has proof. I'm very excited. Please share it with me.
Thank you. In the verses of the Quran, loads of scientific miracles, and the Quran hasn't been changed, so I'll just give you one of them. Give me a second, it's my phone.
Okay, but the Quran was written 600 years after Christ, or, you know, was about. So
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm trying to say that
that doesn't mean anything. Why doesn't that mean anything?
I'm trying to say that it was written 1,400 years ago, and it wasn't science or technology at that point, and it hasn't been changed till this point, and there's miracles in it. That's what I'm going to show.
Okay, do you believe that people can be really smart?
Yeah.
Okay, do you believe that before we had any of this technology that is built today, that people still discovered things?
Yeah, but not things in this
Yeah.
caliber.
So I know that one of the prophets in the Quran was able to accurately describe what a fetus looks like in the woman's womb, yes?
Yeah, something like that, so yeah.
Okay, cool. So
One of the prophets.
do you think that miscarriages happened back then?
Miscarriages, yeah, but wait, we're going to get to this point. Let me just show you the verse
Hang on a
first.
minute. Hang on, because I'm
I don't like
on a roll.
speaking for
I'm on a
other people.
roll. I'm on a roll. 1 second. So, those women that have had miscarriages at different stages of pregnancy, do you think that maybe he was able to look at them and think, oh, so this person was probably about this far along because this is what this looks like, and this lady was probably this far along because this is what this miscarriage looks like? Do you think that could have happened rather than magic?
No, you don't understand. I think you're talking about a different verse, or I don't even know if it's a verse. It was speaking about the in-depth description of it that you can only look at it through a microscope, and there was no microscope.
How do you know there was no microscope? How do you know that there was nothing that replicated a microscope? Or how do you know that there was nothing that they designed? I mean, the ancient Egyptians...
Because it wasn't invented at that time. It's proven by science.
But I haven't finished. The ancient Egyptians built the pyramids, and there has been loads of people looking into how they managed to do it. And everyone's like, well, they didn't have the technology back then. Well, they fucking did, because they managed to build the pyramids.
There wasn't technology back then, and it must have just been manual labor or something. And even so,
They still needed some sort of like lifting mechanism, like a cherry picker or something. But
So
they
you've
made that. They made that.
Yeah, okay,
They
cool. Now
did
I have a
it.
question for you. I have a question for you. So you really think they had technology to lift and build and bring up things in that time? Do you really honestly think that?
They built some sort of lifting mechanism, yes, to build the pyramids.
Like, can you give an example?
Yeah, like hang on a minute. Can I give you an example of it? Yeah, give me 1 second.
Right.
So it says that they had copper tools, like drills. So they made drills, chisels, and actually, yeah, D, if you could mod, that would be great.
But even though if they had technology or something, I'm gonna see where you're going with the point because I don't want to be disrespectful. But do you know, like,
The point
like
is, just because it's in a book, okay, and just because it has some sort of scientific accuracy does
not
not
some sort of
prove...
exact? It's literally exact.
Hang on a minute. A magical deity exists. Isn't there a fucking flying donkey that took someone up to heaven? Like, what the fuck?
Pardon?
In the Quran, there's a flying donkey or some sort of flying horse thing that took Muhammad up into the heavens or something like that. Like, it's fucking nonsense. If
I
you
don't know what
believe
you're
in it,
talking about. You can't, you know, okay, wait, I just want to say one thing. Please, like, we're having a civilized debate right now, right?
yeah, and if
Like,
you
and I don't want
believe
it
in
to
it,
get, I
that's
don't want it to get harsh.
fantastic.
But if we speak about it, we speak about it normally. We don't say stuff and then not bring up a verse or some sort of proof for it. Because I was about to bring up proof.
But
just
I'm on
went a tangent.
TikTok and I don't have another device to bring up verses, okay? So I am never going to believe in magic. It's not going to happen. You
Okay.
haven't brought me any proof of a god.
Yeah, because
You've
you
brought
went on a
me
tangent.
you've
I
brought
was
me a
about to do it.
book. You've brought me a book, okay? The Bible is proof that Jesus and God exist. The Quran is proof that Allah exists, and you know Harry Potter is proof that Harry Potter exists. Just
No, it
because
isn't
it's in a
proof, though.
book,
What?
it's full of stories. It's just stories.
You know, okay, wait, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, wait, what are you, what do you believe in? Are you agnostic, atheist, what are you?
No, I don't believe in anything.
You don't believe in anything. Okay.
No.
You see the phone that you're speaking to me on right now?
Oh my God, here we go. Yep.
Just answer the question. It doesn't matter if you've heard it before. I just want to show that it doesn't make sense what you're believing. Okay, you see the phone you have right now?
Hang on a minute. Why does believing in nothing not make sense?
Because it literally, like, actually think about it. Do you know how complex the human body is? How can you have just come about magic? It doesn't make any sense. There
I
had
don't
to
think
be.
we came about magically.
You said you don't believe in a higher power, so what do you? It doesn't make sense for there not to be someone.
Evolution that has been proven.
Prove you can't. Okay, show proof then.
Evolution has actually been proven. Go to the Natural History Museum, my friend.
We went on a really big tangent here. I need to show you proof at least first. I'll show you a few examples, yeah, because I don't want to say something and not back up. Give me 1 minute to go off Google.
Who's my role model? My mum is my role model. She's amazing. I fucking love her. She is an absolute G. So this guy was like, oh, I can prove there's God. Well, he hasn't done it.
And this is the verse, and in translated in English, I'll say in English. And we made the sky a protective ceiling, and from its signs they are turned away. I may have said like one word incorrectly, but it was just like the phrases. But it's verse 21 to 32, and in science, way like much more recently than then, that was 1,400 years ago. Science literally said the sky has a protective ceiling. And we said it, and it says in the Quran that it was from all the way back then. There was no possible way for it to come. The Quran was revealed in a Sahara desert, zero technology, zero nothing. How could it come from anything but higher power?
Okay. Like, you can believe in what you want to believe in, and I'll believe in what I want to believe in. Okay? I don't believe that there's a God. There's no hard evidence for a God. There never has been. There never will be.
I just gave you hard
No,
evidence.
you didn't.
Like,
You gave
okay,
me,
how's it not proof?
a line from a book.
Okay, but the book had. Wait, actually think about it, like, logically for a second.
I am thinking about it logically.
Okay, the book hasn't been changed for 1,400 years. Not a single sentence, okay?
And?
Okay, let me finish. It hasn't been changed. It said something. It said something back then that no one knew, and it's happened on multiple times in the book. It's not just one occurrence. No one knew it, and now it has been discovered that it's known. If no one knew it at the time, and no one knew it for hundreds of years...
Everything has to be discovered. There has to be a point.
Okay, but how can that many things be discovered?
Ali, listen to me. There has to be a point where no one knew something, and then someone discovered it, and someone then knew it. Like, that starts out as a thing. We start out as that. We start out knowing nothing, and then we learn these things, okay? And people discover things where it was never discovered before, but then they discovered it. And just because you say that there wasn't the technology back then or whatever, okay, there had to be something for them to find out this information. It wasn't a fucking magical deity. It
Okay,
was.
like
It
still,
was. It could have. There's so many other logical explanations than magic. Do you not
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? So Aristotle, okay, he discovered that the Earth was a sphere because he travelled from Greece to Egypt and he saw a different set of constellations in the sky. Now, aeroplanes didn't exist when Aristotle was around, but he still managed to do it.
That's because of him traveling. Okay, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. And when you were speaking as well, you literally proved my point. You said there's no way it could have been in the book without something.
I never said it couldn't have been in the book.
Okay, repeat exactly what you said. Like, no, don't change
That's
no
not
words.
what I said. Don't put words in my mouth.
Words.
Don't put words in my mouth. Bye bye.
Whoa, he was heavily brainwashed.
Oh my God. I don't understand, right, why people can't think. Like, mathematicians and scientists were alive a very long time ago, okay? There was people discovering things a very long time ago, okay? Whether they had that sort of technology that we have now, that we can do it easier than they did it, does not mean that it was fucking God. It just means they were
100%.
really super intelligent.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I mean, listen, people keep banging on like, oh, 1,000 years ago, somebody said that something happened. Mate, the planet is 4.5 billion years ago. They're old. Do you know how old? I mean, like, that is insanely old. Like, I can't even figure out how many millions and thousands are in that. Isn't it?
So actually, the world is predicted to be about 13.8 to 14 billion years old.
Okay, even more than what I thought. Bloody hell, and I could believe. Do you know what I mean? I could believe that, and we live in a galaxy, and there are stars, and space is ever expanding, and it's just like, why do you think that somebody? What I would say to people who keep banging on about a God that only came about 1,000 years ago, according to the books, what do you think was there before that? And what do you think is going to be here after that?
God was always there, apparently. Nothing made God. God just existed, right? But when I say, oh, there was nothing before the Big Bang, but then the Big Bang happened, even though there was stuff before the Big Bang, there was like energies. But then they're like, well, you can't just get energies. And it's like, well, you can't just get a fucking God, mate.
Exactly. God will need someone to create God. And you can, what came first, the egg or the chicken? And you can keep going in circles. But my basic understanding of it is, and it is basic because I don't study it, but I do have my own brain and I am a critical thinker. The Big Bang happened. Lots of gases were about. They were just there, okay? The elements or gases or whatever, they were just there. Big Bang happened. The Earth was born and the galaxy and the space is ever expanding. It started off lots of gases. The Earth was a big ball of gases and stuff like that for a very long time, and then eventually it settled down. Most of the world was water. Then it all sort of rained down into the water, and some sort of self-producing organism started to self-produce. There's technical words for these things, and then it just
Amoebas.
basically. Yeah, and then it was all in the water first, and then bacteria. A human being is basically bacteria. We are bacteria. We produce and multiply and quadruple, and we're just eating the shit out of this planet and destroying it. We are a bacteria. We're just a very smart, evolved bacteria. It's not that hard to believe when you think about how many billions of years this planet has been here for.
When you think about jellyfish as well, okay, so jellyfish are single-celled organisms, and they can self-reproduce. So I guess you're getting nothing from nothing.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's many wonders on this world. The fact that a few scientific facts are in a book that's 1,000 years old, out of millions of different wonderful things that have been discovered. It's crazy. I mean, we all know about Nostradamus, right? Why isn't Nostradamus so famous like Muhammad or Jesus? He fucking predicted loads of shit.
I know, and the Simpsons predict shit all the time that comes true. So what
I should be worshipping the Simpsons.
Is Matt Groening a god? Like,
Yeah, I mean, famously the Simpsons, when they did the Twin Tower one and loads of shit, there's videos about it, isn't it?
yeah,
It's just sometimes the stars align, guys. Stop being childish. Wake up. In today's world where we have so much science, so much technology, the internet, information at your fingertips, this must be the dumbest time that human beings are still believing in fairy tales. I mean, they had an excuse 1,000 years ago. People didn't know shit.
exactly.
They had an excuse 100 years ago. I don't understand people's excuses today.
Keep talking, but just give me a second. I'll be back in a
Yeah, go. Yeah, I mean, people, look, this literally must be the dumbest time in human history to be religious. It's got to be. Back then, they couldn't explain thunder. They couldn't explain lightning. They couldn't explain rain, for fuck's sake. They couldn't explain people with epilepsy. They had to have a miraculous reason for things to be the way they were. I don't understand people's reasoning today. All religion does today. Here's what I see religion do today. It divides people. It creates wars. Kids get bullied. Kids' brains get washed. People try and convert children. Yeah. It doesn't do any good. You don't need to be religious to have a moral compass. You don't need to be religious not to go around unaliving people, to live a good life, to be good to your neighbors, to work, to contribute to society. You don't need that. But back then, at some stage, religion played a part in controlling people and in making sure people didn't mess about too much and overthrow their leaders. These days, you don't really need it. My question to people that are super religious is, do you think you need religion to live the same quality of life and feel the same safety that you feel day-to-day life?
Do you know what else is awful? I had a Muslim person come in my life the other day, and no, it wasn't awful because he was Muslim. What he said to me, oh my God, I can't find my eyebrow brush. That's not what he said to me. He said to me that if he ever had a son and his son was gay, that he would disown his son.
I mean, that's horrendous, isn't it? That is horrendous.
That? Exactly.
Your own flesh and blood, and you don't understand the science and the basic human, sexualities and stuff like that, and you're disowning your own flesh and blood because of something they can't even help because some book told you to. Exactly. I mean, that's awful, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like in Scientology, a lot of people don't know this, right? But it's genuinely true. It's all out on the internet and everything, right? So, John Travolta is part of Scientology, right? Another religion.
And that short guy, who's that short guy as well? Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. So, John Travolta is part of Scientology, okay? And he had a son who needed medication to stay alive. I think he was epileptic. I'm not entirely sure. But he needed medication, okay? But if you're a Scientologist, you don't believe in medication. So he stopped his son from taking his life-saving medication and his son unalived.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
All because of religion.
Yeah, and Scientology is probably, look, I can't say it's better or worse than the others. They're all similar in the sense that they're following unrealistic, unproven sort of things to the letter. Scientology is one of the more crazy ones because that they believe, that aliens came to the planet, put us here, and then disappeared and just let us get on with it.
I mean, that's even still more believable than an Abrahamic God.
Oh yeah, it's definitely more believable. It's definitely more believable, and that's how crazy it is, and it's still more believable.
Exactly. It's that religion, it can be so dangerous. I mean, look at the Latter-day Saints. What were they called? I can't remember what they were called. But the something of the Latter-day Saints. I cannot think of what they were called. Anyway, there was a documentary on Netflix about them, and they have like multiple wives, okay, that are as young as 12 years old. Okay, and
It's horrible.
they say that it's okay because Jesus says it's okay. Like it, and even if that isn't in the Bible, that's obviously something that they have interpreted from the Bible, and they think that it's okay to do. Whereas if there was no Bible, then there wouldn't be any interpretations. There wouldn't be any
There'd be no
extremism.
justification. Yeah, there'd be no justification for it. And I've noticed that more and more on TikTok at the moment is people are, like, for example, they'll look up the Quran and they'll dig because it's a massive book full of loads of stories and whatever. And they'll dig and they'll find a story about a 12-year-old marrying thing. And then somebody will think it's okay because it says it in there. And they've done the same thing with, the Jewish book, whatever that is. I think it's the Torah, and I've seen it done with the Bible. And the problem is, look, all of these books have got somewhere in them, something in there which can be misinterpreted or misjudged. And because people are so sheepish and you literally just believe anything that's written in a book by a man because somebody told you, right? Because everybody that's religious is religious because somebody else told you, right? You believe in something because somebody told you, and it's written in black and white by a human being, not anybody else. You believe that's correct. I mean, it's just nuts. We live in a crazy time.
It's like they don't have, they can't think for themselves. Like
Yeah,
they
they
literally can't
They
think
can't.
for themselves.
The only positive thing about being in the UK is I do think that I honestly believe that more than half of the UK are not religious. I think they are. I don't think they believe in one of the big religions. I think as opposed to somewhere like America where it's incredibly religious over there. I mean, it's insanely religious over there.
And this is the thing, if it was all true, then why is religion dying out? Why are there non-believers? If it is so true, and if there is evidence, why are there non-believers?
You know, when is Jesus going to rise from the death? When is God going to reveal himself or herself or whatever? And why is God a man? Why did Jesus only have male disciples? He's a bit of a misogynistic geezer, isn't he?
Yeah, and God, an Abrahamic God is an evil dictator. Sorry, motorbike going past. But let's think about it, okay? So God, if you don't do what I say, if you don't worship me, if you don't love me, I'm going to punish you. Doesn't that sound like Kim Jong-un?
It does. It's basically saying to somebody, if you don't believe in me, you are going to burn in eternal hell fire for eternity, which is, if you're saying that to a child, you're basically, imagine if you said something like, if it wasn't a religious thing and I just went to a child, hey, listen, mate, if you don't do what I tell you now, if you don't believe what I'm going to tell you, when you pass away, for eternity, you won't be able to see your family. You'll be burning in eternal fire. I mean, that's just insane.
It's mental, isn't it? It's absolutely mental. And do you know how many children were executed in the Bible because of God?
Yeah.
And why didn't he stop it if he's all loving, all knowing, all caring, all this shit? Why didn't he stop it? He's a bad man.
City Girl Sav, I know you're not intellectual enough to realise that we're just two people that agree on a subject, and it's not a debate. We're just at the moment talking about our disgust in religion. But of course, you can click the multi-guest down there, and then I can shift down for you, and you can come up and debate if you like. I mean, people just get so frustrated when you talk about things that they believe in, and you've got a different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, you don't have to drop down if you don't want to. I can get.
No, but I can come up and down. So if somebody wants to come up and debate, if there's people in the box waiting,
Yeah.
I can shift it, like just drop me, and then I can come back up.
Who was it that wanted to come up?
There's somebody was saying that it's an echo chamber or something, and they want to debate. I think City Girl Sav. Do you want to invite her up?
Oh yeah, definitely. They're not in my request.
Ali, look, man. Maybe
Oh, they
get
don't
Ali
have
back
enough
up if he's.
followers.
Ali, calm down, man. Calm down. Listen, Ali, you saying trust me, bro, is not going to convince anybody that your way, your indoctrination is correct. Think about it. You were fed a pipe dream. You are told, behave and do this and do that, and I'm going to treat you well when you pass away. Right? That's all religion is. And guess what? You're never going to find out, are you? Because when you pass away, you're gone. You can't come back and say you lied to me.
What happened before you were born? Can you remember? Like, what was
But
there?
I can't even remember what happens when I'm sleeping.
What were you before you were created by your mom and dad? What were you? You don't know. So when you pass away, you're not going to know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how many people have ever lived on this planet? I think somebody get that figure. You can Google it. How many people have ever existed on this planet? You think they're all in some sort of heaven hideaway or hell hideaway, just chilling? Come on, man.
It just doesn't make sense. But if people do believe, that's absolutely fine. If it brings them peace, if it brings them happiness, fantastic. But it's just
Yeah, I
not
mean,
for me.
people can be like, you know, they can believe in whatever they want to believe in. The issue that I've got is the three biggest religions have made it into some sort of competition of who's going to conquer the world and become the most popular. And throughout history, with crusades and big religious battles, tried to kind of force their thoughts on other people. And I don't like. I want to give human beings the chance to evolve their own brain and to be critical thinkers. And I think it's wrong to attack a young mind, a child's mind, with these ideologies, with these thoughts so early on. I mean, the brain doesn't stop growing until you're probably in your mid-20s or something.
Can I just say, what's the difference? I mean, I think personally that what's being taught in schools at the moment, like with all the sexualizing kids, like drag queen story hour, all that, you know, I mean, surely to God that's worse, a lot worse than like teaching about someone who loves you and cares about you and who's, you know what I mean, who's there for you.
No, it's not worse. It's actually, look, listen, what they're, all that stuff, that's your hate on gay people and transgenders.
No,
or
it's
whatever
not.
coming
It's
out.
not hate.
Right,
It's just that it shouldn't be pushed on kids.
Because you don't agree with it, that's fine. Yeah, but that's reality. Those people exist around us. So I want to educate my kids about those people because they're real, and I need to educate them and tell them about those people because they're actually tangible, real people.
All right, what about the ones, I'm not on, I've got friends that are trans, what about the ones that, and they even don't agree with it, you know, the ones that are like stripping and shit, and you can't say it doesn't happen because it does. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying all of them.
In front of children?
Yes.
No,
And
who?
doing like erotic dancing. I could send you videos of it.
No, that's fine. I just asked who.
Oh, sorry. Well, I can't name the actual ones off the top of my head, but I've seen videos of it.
No, I've seen it as well. It's over in America, isn't it?
Mainly. I mean, it has happened here a little bit because everything from America leaks over here at some point.
Yeah, but drag queens are not for children.
No, exactly.
They
I mean,
never have
it doesn't.
been.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you I think I've been to see drag acts. I you know when I was younger, and not a kid, but when I was younger, and I really enjoy it. It's an adult entertainment. Do you know what I mean? It's not for children, so it's not that I'm against.
Well, it's an adult entertainment if they're doing adult things. But I go to a Christmas panto every year without a shadow of a doubt, and there's always a drag queen pouncing around telling kind of jokes, and everybody laughs. Right? There's nothing.
Panto's a bit different than.
It's still a
certain
drag
things
queen,
that-
isn't it?
Yeah, but it's totally different. It is different. It's a different context.
Well, that's why. Well, if people are doing something which is illegal, if you're saying that you've witnessed a drag queen stripping indecently
Yeah,
in
bouncing up
front
and
of
down.
children,
Yeah,
but that could have been
saying all
anybody. That could have been the nutter down the road doing it.
Oh no, this is people that's like libraries and schools and organisations have invited. Sorry, what's your name? Is it Victoria or is that
Yeah,
not your name?
Vicky, Victoria.
Said, do you know what I mean? It is mainly. I'm not going to think it's mainly America, but that doesn't mean to say that it doesn't happen here as well. Because I have seen some over here, and to be honest, it doesn't matter where it is. It's still wrong no matter what because it's in front of children.
I mean, I'm trying to get around my head what you're describing. You're describing a setting somewhere in a school where they've invited a drag queen into a school, and that drag queen is invited to strip to what degree?
They don't strip naked, but I've seen them where they've pulled the top down. I've seen them bouncing up and down in like a sexualized way. Words just describing things like in sort of like words that mean sexualizing them basically.
Okay, I mean, I haven't seen that video, so I don't have any comments on it. But obviously, that's down to the parents and the school to get together and figure out what is going on there, because that hasn't happened in the UK.
Well, it has, but not as much as America, though. I'll give you that.
I'm just getting other people in because I'm going to go and iron my top whilst my phone is charging. But Destina, how old are you, please?
26.
Fabulous. I would like to hear what you have to say before I go into the other room. So what did you want to talk about?
Oh, I can talk about any of these topics, really.
Okay, that's cool. Then I will leave you all to chat and I will be back in a minute.
See you soon. Hi, Destina.
Hello. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Questioning a lot of the people in the comments, honestly. Just in general, it's a bit scary to hear what a lot of the people here say. And if I'm a bit trembly, it's because this is the first time I've ever joined a live, so apologies for that one.
That's okay. Take your time. I mean, is there something in particular that brought you up on the mic to discuss?
Turn these down a bit.
Well, I do find the trans topic interesting.
Right.
So I am myself a trans woman. I have to agree in that there is quite a lot of people who identify as trans who definitely don't give the group a particularly good name.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, it's not all trans because I know people say, oh, that doesn't mean anything, but I've got a couple of trans friends from church, do you know what I mean, who I'm really good friends with, and they both say the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's things like
Well, what is the percentage of trans people in society? It's such a minute, tiny proportion of our society, and everybody is just like there's some sort of witch hunt or something, or some sort of what are we saying here? That you by you saying some of them aren't acting right, that makes it some people think I'm not going to trust any of them. I mean, I think you should just judge people as you see them.
But we do a lot of... Sorry, Destina, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just about to say, it's about 2% of the population in the UK, for a start, and it's like every other day here on the news, a 17-year-old girl stabbed 20 times by other teenagers just because they're trans.
Oh, yeah, that's disgusting. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's when...
That was the young girl as well, wasn't it? Was it a young...
Yeah, I think she was heading to a party with her friends and just got stabbed for being trans. It's... You just hear
and you think those kids' parents kept banging on about how disgusting trans people are and or how do you think those kids that did that got to the stage where they just wanted to stab and unalive a trans girl? Was it society around them that made them think that way?
Wait, is he white?
If I had to name it down to anything, it's because of how normalized it is for social media in general, just to go around saying how inhuman or detestable trans people are just for existing. And a lot of these comments, they get a scary amount of support. You know, there's no rationalization, there's no reasoning. It's just, oh, this person's different from the rest of us. Let's ostracize them. And then obviously that carries over to people who have a bit more intense ideologies about these things.
Wait, is he white?
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Ali, what's up, man?
After this, after you finish the trans bit, can you move on to the God bit? The God design.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Can I say something quick? Sorry to interrupt. I mean, I just want to weigh in on the trans thing. Obviously, I've never spoken to a trans person. I don't know any of them. But with regards to, this is mainly to you, Destina. How do you feel about all the thousands of different pronouns?
Personally for me, it's too much. When people say ze, zim, or they, there, or I mean, even non-binary to me is a bit of a conflicting issue.
Yeah,
I mean, as a trans woman, ultimately, I've decided on who I am and stuck with it. I don't flip-flop from one to the other, depending on the mood.
Yeah, that's
personally,
what I mean.
I think that it's something.
It's gone a bit too above and beyond. You know what I mean? Like you obviously, I know it's an unfortunate thing for that young girl to lose her life. You know what I mean? It's not fair.
No, absolutely not.
But obviously, that's happened to other people in the world just because of other things as well. You know what I mean? For I don't know, being gay, or you know what I mean, or being a different colour, or it could happen to anybody. So I don't, you know what I mean? How can I explain it? Would it be different if she wasn't a trans and she just randomly got stabbed 17 times?
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's
TikTok-friendly language.
sorry. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know what I mean? I'm just a bit, confused sometimes of how things come across. You know what I mean? Because obviously, everybody knows that the media can sort of go a bit too above and beyond on the information that they sort of beat around the bush, if you will.
Well, I mean, the whole issue stems down to that this girl was trans. If she wasn't, then maybe they would have just carried on life as a gay man. But even in that instance, they weren't completely invulnerable to the possibility of the same thing happening. Less likely, absolutely. But
yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like I've said on before, but social media has ruined a lot of people's minds. It brainwashes so many people. It's unbelievable, and it's not. I'd love to go back to the day where I had a Nokia 3310. Message and phone call and no internet, nothing. That'd be brilliant. Because
when I was young, we didn't even have mobiles at all. It was house.
That's what I mean. I'm 37, so I've experienced no phone. Do you know what I mean? And a phone. So
Yeah, me too.
36
months. So
now seeing 12-year-olds going around with the newest iPhones and tablets and stuff, it's like they're just through the most important developmental stages.
Yeah.
They've just been engrossed in this technology and don't really experience things properly. I think it's going to have a really interesting effect in the next 20 years or so when these people have grown up.
Oh, yeah. Can I just say that it's not just, social media is also to blame for division and stuff, but mainstream media is the worst division against trans people, against people of colour, against everyone. They cause division, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Rather than like bringing us all together, but I mean that's another thing entirely. Not me, my view on that. But yeah, they want us all to like be against each other.
Yeah, it really does. It's kind of sad.
Sorry, I just want to address one of the comments. It says delusional life where biology, truth, and facts don't mean anything. What if we said that aren't facts? Who's questioning biology? What do you mean?
Here comes another thing.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
How God doesn't exist but transgender does? Of course transgender people exist. Are you stupid?
You can see them. You know, they're still human.
They're there.
Can we please move on to the God doesn't exist point?
Oh yes, let's.
Okay. We already had a discussion from earlier, right?
Yeah, where you
Points.
didn't prove that God existed. Yeah.
Okay, I did prove it, but
Well, you
I
didn't
gave you a
prove it
verse.
because I still don't believe. If you prove it, I'll believe.
Okay, I'm gonna explain it one more time.
Okay.
The book was created 1,400 years ago. It was sent down by God.
It wasn't sent down by God at all. It was written by man. Carry on.
It was written by Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but it was sent down by God.
It
Okay?
wasn't sent down by God at all. Carry on.
All right, whatever. Okay,
It was sent down 1,400 years ago. After that, there was no technology at the time. I gave you a verse in which the Quran speaks about there being a protective ceiling in the sky. Science only discovered it recently, not that long ago, that there's a protective ceiling in the sky. There's no possible way for a man to know that.
It's a
Where could it come from?
Is there not? How do you know that there was no possible way for that to have been discovered back then? How do you know for sure that there was no way that anyone could have discovered that? How do you know?
Number one, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was illiterate. He couldn't read or write. He was
Then
in the
how
Sahara
the
Desert.
fuck-
I'm trying to explain it. You said, how do I know?
How
In your
the
interaction.
fuck did he write the Quran?
Can I explain it? Please?
Go for it.
Okay, thank you. Number one, Muhammad was illiterate. He cannot read or write. That's even another one of the miracles. He was able to bring the Quran and he cannot read or write, showing us from God. And number two, you were in the Sahara Desert. There was no technology or anything. It was 1,400. If you really think there was technology 1,400 years ago,
I don't think there was technology.
so how could you possibly know?
Ali, the thing is, right, we have technology now to discover things easier, okay? To make things easier for us to look at it, right? So telescopes, okay? They make it easier to look at planets in space, yeah? So we have the technology now to make things easier for us. Back then, it still wasn't possible, right? Without that technology, it just means that today we have the technology to make it easier. Lots of things were discovered way back before we had technology, okay? So just because it's in a book doesn't mean that, like, it couldn't have happened without the technology, so God has to be real.
Wait, so you think someone who's illiterate, who couldn't read or write, can know that there's
How
a
do you know
protective
he
ceiling
couldn't
in the
read or
sky?
write? Hang on a minute. How do you know he couldn't read or
because
write?
my religion tells
Did
me.
you meet him?
Because my religion tells me. The religion
Exactly.
which-
Your religion that you believe in tells you. I don't believe in it, and therefore it doesn't exist, and it means nothing to me. Your religion.
Okay,
is
so
telling
if someone
you
gives you a hardcore truth, like 1 + 1 = 2, how can you say you don't believe in it? You're just being delusional. I gave you a
Because
verse.
right, so
And it's impossible.
maths is man-made, right? Man has told me that 1 + 1 = 2. We
It's an
don't know
example.
for sure because maths is man-made. Science
it's
is
an example.
man-made. The Quran is man-made. Religion is man-made.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
And
Every-
you, and,
I just can't-
and that's
I don't
what you
understand, like,
believe. It's a
Is there
faith,
something that's
Ali.
stopping you?
Ali, it's a faith. You have to believe in it for it to be real. It's like Santa Claus, okay? Santa
No, I
Claus.
believe in it because it's
Hang on
true.
a minute, Ali, I haven't finished my point. Right? You have to believe in Santa Claus for Santa Claus to be real. Otherwise, he doesn't exist.
And you know, there's even more verses. It's not a coincidence like it happened one time. It happens multiple times throughout the Quran. And they're all
undebate. If you really think that what's it called? That it's just how do you say it? A book and it's a coincidence and it's been discovered this time, it's been discovered that time. How can it be a coincidence all throughout the Quran?
Do you know who Matt Groening is?
No.
Okay, so Matt Groening is the creator of The Simpsons. You know the TV show The Simpsons, yeah?
Yeah, he predicted a few things, right? Yeah.
He has predicted a lot of things that has actually come true. Does that mean that Matt Groening is a god?
He didn't predict. Okay, no, it doesn't. What?
Right, why doesn't that make him a god?
Because he's predicted it, and it's pure coincidence. Everyone knows. Or maybe he went in touch with the devil or something. Everyone knows it couldn't have been something like that. I don't know what you want to say.
Okay, Nostradamus, okay? He predicted a lot of things that came true. Is he a god?
Name one.
It could be a messenger for God for all we know.
Wait, name one thing that guy predicted. I don't know about.
Someone says, host, can you disprove God to us then? No, because you cannot prove a negative. You can't prove the
I
non-existence.
swear I just proved it. I literally just proved it. Do you want a different verse? Is that what would make you happy? A different verse?
No, because reading from a Quran that I don't believe in is not going to help me because I don't believe, Ali. It's something that you have to believe in for it to be real.
I'd never try and force someone to believe in something. If you don't want to believe, that's your choice. And then
I'm not forcing. I'm not
saying
when
you
did
are.
I say that you should become Muslim? I'm saying that
I'm not saying
the
you
God
are.
doesn't exist point is wrong. I'm proving that my God exists, and you're saying it doesn't. It's just a back and forth. I'm not forcing her to become Muslim.
No, I never said that. I never meant you're forcing it. I just meant generally. I wasn't.
Yeah, that's right. Genuinely, yeah, you're right about that.
But this is proof for you. This is not proof for me. The only proof that I would accept is if I saw a god or saw some sort of, effect of God. But because I can't see it, I can't feel it, I don't experience it, it's not going to happen. I don't believe in a god. I don't believe in a magical deity.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Why doesn't that make sense?
Because I don't know how. I don't know what to say at this point because I'm literally giving you. I'm going to give a different verse, and this is going to be unrepeatable. What you're going to say.
So I mean, it does make sense though. Like with regards to, he said it's 1400 years ago, yeah. So what was there before 1400 years ago? Did he just magically appear just like that?
I'm sorry, but
And the Quran.
God has always been there. We believe in. You guys are forgetting. We believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in all the prophets before that. Islam's been here since Adam, alayhi salam. Islam's been here from the very beginning. We believe in the gospel, but it's the Injil at the time, not right now because it's been corrupted, and the Torah for the Jews at the time, the ethnical Jews, not the religious Jews. We believe in that from that time, but those books have been corrupted, and Allah said in the Quran, He will keep the Quran safe and it will not be corrupted, and it hasn't been. It has not been corrupted.
Someone's just said to me, have you seen war with your own eyes? Have you experienced war? Have you been in war? Is war not real? Yes, I have seen war. Yes, I have seen the effects of war. No, I have not been in a war, but I've also not been in God. So
How are you going to be in the one who created the heavens and the earth? And
exactly, I was
it's
being
impossible.
facetious,
How can you
Ali.
see him either? You know, even in the Quran, yeah, there was a message about this. Exactly what you're speaking about. You haven't seen him, so why can't you believe him? The Prophet Moses alayhi salam asked God to see him. God put his place in next to a mountain or something. I'm paraphrasing. And then after he looked at Moses fainted. You can't even stare at the sun for too long without your eyes high. How are you going to look at the one who created you? It's impossible. Look in the sun for 10 minutes. Look in the sun for 10 minutes, your eyes are going to hurt. How are you going to look at God?
I'm sorry, is this meant to be proof?
Can I just ask something? Dick,
Lucy.
Because obviously you don't believe in a creator. So my question is, how do you think that we came about? Because in my eyes, personally, the Big Bang Theory just doesn't fit. We're too intricate. We're too to be just a coincidence, a random explosion, and we're here now. I mean, you think how we're made and how we're made to do things in our consciousness.
That's the thing. Nobody knows.
Absolutely fine. I mean, everyone believes in what they believe in. I believe in evolution because it's been proven.
Where's the proof?
Where's the proof?
Give one proof. I gave proof.
It's in museums.
I believe in evolution. I believe that, but in my, because I'm a bit like both. I believe in a creator. I wouldn't call myself necessarily religious. Creator, God, like, but also I believe that over time when he created it was for back then, and over time things have changed, like animals and stuff to like fit in where they've had to go and live. So I believe in evolution, but I also believe in a creator.
And that's absolutely fine. Like you can believe in a creator. I don't believe in a creator. It doesn't fit with my way of thinking. I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm not a quantum physicist. I couldn't tell you what was before the Big Bang. No one knows what was before the Big Bang. However, that narrative fits what I believe much better than any Abrahamic God or any God at all, any creator. And because that makes sense to me, that's something that I believe. And there is science behind it, although it hasn't completely been figured out. There is science behind it, and there is more active proof for that than there is for the Quran or the Bible.
Okay, give one bit of proof, because I'm pretty sure it's just a theory, but you can give proof. If you can give
Okay,
proof,
so the Big Bang actually happened. We can see the afterglow of it. It was discovered in the 1960s, and although you can't see it with the naked eye, you can see it with a telescope. So the fact that the Big Bang happened, and I'm pretty sure the Big Bang was mentioned in the Quran as well, putting that out there, doesn't mean...
verse. I think I know what verse you're talking about, and there's context to it. Can you give the verse? Please, I really want to.
Yeah, one second.
Remnants of the Big Bang from television static back with older style TVs. That's proof in and of itself of the Big Bang.
Can I just ask, Destina, how genuine question? How do you know that? And that's not being like funny. I'm just asking, how do you know that? Is it because like scientists have told you? But the scientists are generally paid. Again, I'm going off on one a bit of tangent, but the scientists that say all that, a lot of them get paid off certain particular. Like NASA actually means in Hebrew to deceive. The word NASA means to deceive.
Yeah, NASA have lied about many things.
Isn't NASA also an acronym?
Well, yeah, but don't you think it's a bit strange though? Did it also?
There you go, Ali.
Yeah. You know what that verse is talking about? It's not contradicting the Quran. It's not at all. That verse is talking about. The Quran speaks about before. It speaks about the universe constantly expanding, and that's another point. The universe constantly expanding, and science even believes that as well. The universe is still expanding.
The universe is ever expanding.
So it's not speaking about everything just came into that. It's speaking about the universe constantly expanding. It's not what you think it.
Yes, Queenie, Google is my source because I don't have a handy little Quran next to me. Of course, why would Google not be a source? Are you stupid? Why are people so stupid? Like, doesn't everyone Google shit? Like, why are we hating on Google?
Yeah, it's the most used thing on the internet, so.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's such a stupid statement. Such a stupid statement. Jesus fucking... Do you know what? No one can use Google now to find out facts because...
The snowflakes.
Yeah.
They get offended by everything. But with regards to, obviously, all this, Ali, you know what I mean? Everybody, you know what I mean? If you want to believe what you want to believe, you know what I mean?
Do research with book scholars. You sound dumb. Okay, so a lot of books are on the internet.
You sound
dumb, Queenie. How old are you? Seriously.
It wasn't what you saying. You were going to the pod.
Right, Ali. I am so happy that you are passionate about your religion, and I'm very happy that you believe in that, and it's bringing you peace, and you're living your life. How old are you, Vicky? Is a better question. I'm 30 next year. And I'm glad it's bringing peace to your life and you're living
in a very good way and you're happy and you're healthy and everything. But I too am happy and healthy and living a very good life. And I don't need a God to help me with that.
Yeah. Okay. But wait, you know how you're living a good... Actually, no, I'm not even getting to that. Wait, Warzen, you're going to say something earlier. I can't read your name properly.
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. Yeah, no, that's fine. Like I said, like, obviously, you can sit there and prove, you know what I mean, and say that you can prove it until you're blue in the face. But with regards to, you know what I mean, if you haven't got video proof of God standing in front of me, I'm not going to believe it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or if I can physically see him, I'll sit there and say, look, I'll shake your hand and say, look, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? But no, like, obviously, where the world's been around for so many billion years, you know what I mean? No matter how many universes are out there, you know what I mean? You know, we might even have a duplicate world exactly the same as us, where other people think of gods in another planet that we haven't discovered yet. You know what I mean? But with regards to the world that we currently live in, you know, to be honest, if God existed, would war be there? Would there be nonces? Would there be people, you know what I mean? Would there be hatred?
TikTok friendly language, please. Please videos or whatever.
I agree with your point to some extent,
you know
but
what I mean?
at the same time...
Would God want to punish people? You know what I mean? Like, people say it's a cycle of life. I get that, you know what I mean?
I understand what you mean. You actually gave a pretty good point, but I'll just like kind of give you a bit of thing. Basically, you know, these people that commit war and they you're forgetting at the end of the day, God gave us free will to do these things, and we're going to be held accountable for it. Imagine if God made everyone follow him, and everyone do this and everyone do that. Would you really be like content with it? You're meant to have free will, and then your decisions, you'll be held accountable for it. These people that are committing war and are nonsense, whatever they are they not getting held accountable for it? Do you get what I mean? Like, it's up to you to commit that decision.
Yeah,
it shouldn't reflect back on everyone else.
Yeah, everybody's got. I get that. Everybody's got their own mindset, basically. Yeah. But with regards to, like, if God existed, technically, he could control them people that are doing things. You know what I'm saying? Because people think that God is a puppeteer. Yeah. You know, so basically, if he made us, why would he make people's brains think the way that they shouldn't?
That's the whole point, exactly. And I've been trying to speak to people like this for a long time. This world is literally a test to see if we're going to be given... Of course you don't believe in this, but I'm going to say it. We're going to be given the verses, we're going to be given the Quran, we're going to be given how to follow it. It's just up to you if you want to follow it. Yeah. And you shouldn't press it upon people. If people want to believe what they believe, you should respect that and you should move away.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, this is the same with everything. You know what I mean? Because obviously you have Jehovah's Witnesses come to the door trying to push God down my throat. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That shouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
That's completely wrong. I agree with you. That's wrong. That's flat wrong.
If you want to make your own decision, you want to make your own decision with regards to what you want to believe in. But the thing that I don't understand is, like, obviously, nobody living in this day and age knows where the world began, when it finished, what happened at the beginning, who built the pyramids. Nobody can tell us anything. All we've got is books. So technically, all these books could be lying to us.
I've got one question.
Wait. Call of Duty.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to follow you. I would love to have some kind of discussion later on, because I actually enjoy this discussion. I'm going to follow you. Maybe we can talk about it in depth another time.
Mate, yeah, go for it. Yeah.
No problem. I'm going to leave now. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
All right, mate, no problem.
Can I just say, just quickly, that before you were saying much earlier back about the bad things, and a lot of people say this, why do bad things happen? Like, because me and my partner have lost like 2 days, things like that. And it's horrible. But the way I look at it, I remember being told once years ago that if, for people like myself...
I've got a violation warning for hate speech. So I'm going to quickly end the live and then start it again. If people want to follow me quickly so that you can join back, that'd be great. But I can't have this account bananaed as well because my other account is bananaed. So I'll give you like a couple of minutes just to follow me if you want to come back in, and then I will restart the live.
Right. You too.